that's a bit of a challenge, I think. Everyone has this idea about artists that they are a little bit all over the place, that they're bad at organising, that they get locked into their artistic world and find it hard to come out. I think that's a fairly fair stereotype to have with most people. It certainly is with me. But that, for me, is part of finding God in my daily work. So I'm a calligrapher, which always draws a very interesting response from people. Either they don't know what it is, or they can't quite believe that you can make any money from doing it, which is sort of true. I have a very particular job in that my job is to write things beautifully, and I think it's a very moving, very human thing that people still want things handwritten in our super automated, super efficient day and age. And technically, a printer could do what I do in 3 seconds, with less costs, with fewer materials, and much quicker. Being an artist who is Christian, this makes the foundation of my job a very easy one to connect to God and to connect to the world, to sanctify. Very easy in that it's a very human job. I'm in contact with people all the time, and obviously when people ask me to do things, I want to know, what's the context? What's the context of this baby who's been born, or when are you getting married? Where are you getting married? How many guests have you got? And what's the feel of the writing that you want to have? So getting those little details about people helps me to pray for them, definitely, one thing. Professionally, to be as professional as I can about the output that I produce, and obviously to sanctify that work from within. So I have deadlines, I have clients who need things delivered at a certain quality, at a certain time. So out of respect for them, I do my absolute best to do that. But for me, that's also an insight into how I can find God in my daily life as an artist. So it's a huge struggle for me to sit down and start working at a particular time, but that struggle is really valuable, because that is where I can find God. And there are better days and there are worse days, and there are days where I will be working at 2 a.m. because I didn't organise myself very well, or my pen just won't behave. That's just part of the human story. I think that's the ups and downs of being an artist. But what I do love about being a Christian and an artist is that has a divine context. If you allow it, it can have a divine context where you can connect to God in those little struggles. So a big part of my work, and basically 95% of my custom, comes from my presence on Instagram. You should be able to see from my Instagram, because it is my portfolio. It's also my presentation of myself as an artist. So you should really be able to tell the kind of person I am, as well as the type of artist I am, from the images that I post on social media. So my Instagram is very kind of bright, it's quite colourful, and there's a certain aesthetic about it because I have a style as an artist, but also my content is, I'd say, pretty wholesome. I'm a Christian. What I want to do is I want to glorify God, and I want to dignify the human person, both the viewer, the client, as well as myself as an artist. So there are certain jobs that I don't take on. And this client, I think, hadn't quite understood that from my portfolio. So it was a restaurant, quite a big restaurant chain in the UK. They approached me to paint a mural on the walls of their restaurant, and to redesign a matching set of illustrations for their menus. This was a big job. This had dollar in it. And as an artist who relies on the amount that her clients pay her, this was like, but this is great. And this is a big name restaurant, I'm very excited about this. But then I read the brief. I asked, what is it that you want me to do? And I read the brief, and then I realized that what they were asking me to do was very in line with their brand, but not in line with me as an artist and as a person and as a Christian, as somebody who wants to dignify the human person and to reflect that love of God in the things that I do. It was a bit of a painful moment because I had to decline, and I thought it was only fair to give a reason why I was declining and to suggest artists whose style probably aligned a bit more with the brand. I was very at peace with that decision because I knew that, money isn't everything. Money isn't everything. My integrity as a person who tries to live her faith, and that aligns with my artistic style. That integrity is more important to me. So that was a bit of a struggle. It's happened a couple of times in my career, but I think those small things do make a difference.